Hi, my name is Sarah J. Lieber, and I'm with BroadwayWorld.
Hi.
And
Hi,
thank
Sarah.
you, Loren and Nora, for taking the time to talk to me today.
Pleasure.
Sure. Thanks for having us.
So, I wanted to start by asking you about at the sort of intersection of pretty much everything you've ever done, there's this aspect of musical storytelling. And I wanted to know if you could tell me a little about your background there and what draws you to kind of creating these mini musicals in TV.
Mm. You want to start, Nora?
I'd love to. um, I was kind of raised on musicals. My dad, we were just talking about this the other day. My dad went to college, Pratt University in Brooklyn. He showed up with like a ton of musical albums, and he's like, "I'm a kid with a bunch of musical albums. What do you think of that?" And so he was like a brave little 18-year-old boy showing up with, and it was like, so it was kind of like a part of the way I was raised. We would go to the Fox Theater in Atlanta, and this is too much about my childhood, and see musicals, and it was just kind of, and then it's just so naturally is helpful with storytelling because it's the thing everybody says, like when you feel something so much you have to sing it, but also it's just such a fun way to do it. And like for some reason when you rhyme story beats, they're more fun and more like it makes them more interesting to oh, and then one more interesting way to express a story, like a this happens and then this happens, it's like exposition made fun all of a sudden. um and so it just works really well together, like it's, yeah, I think that's the end.
Yeah, my background is kind of that musical that was in the cracks. It wasn't necessarily musical theater, capital M, capital T on the stage. It was more like the Muppet Show, and Disney movies that you know I listened to on records and things like that. But it had the same effect. And I agree with everything Nora's saying. In the end, it felt to me like doing animation was to get in bed with music as well. You're always looking for a way to support one with the other.
Yeah, absolutely. Without giving too much away, could you tell me some of the musical moments you're most excited about this upcoming season?
Oh, I have one. The Ingrid Michaelson song that Molly
Ah,
sings, Emmy Raver
that's mine.
Lampman sings as Molly in this story that's otherwise very silly. It's kind of I won't give too much away, like you said, but it's very much what we would call a triptych, where each, or I guess in this case, a quad. Anyway, the characters are telling a story to each other, and it's got kind of a silly framework for each one, but this song is so beautiful, and it's kind of sudden. All of a sudden, you're in a much more uh, sort of melancholy moment, but I just love it so much. I find it incredibly affecting every time I've heard it. And then when Emmy sang it, she sang it all the way through in one take, and there were a few of us on the call because this is recorded during COVID, and I think we were all in tears.
There's another like Molly emotional song in the Fist of Puffs episode where she's just singing about trying to be her who she is herself, and it's pretty moving as well. Like coming from it, it's very easy to go back to that teenage girl place for me, and it was just really that was Damsel and Anderson. Did I already say that? And it was just really beautiful, and it's just fun when those like because that's a relatively silly episode too. I mean, it's a little more like intense drama going on, but like to have this musical moment where you're like, oh gosh, these are real feelings, and I connect with this like is pretty exciting.
Absolutely. Well, that's all the time I've got, but thank you so much for answering my questions, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Sarah.
Sarah.